Hey Cam fam, welcome back and welcome to Keeping Up with Cam. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning into our channel. If you're a returning subby, thank you so much for coming back. So today we have our toddler boy hairstyle number 75. Today the style is going to be a braided hairstyle. It's going to be super quick, super easy, low skill, low effort. So this is one that you can go back to over and over. So we ended up not realizing that it was picture day. So this is literally the morning of picture day, and I'm braiding his hair. I washed it the night before and I blow dried it right away because obviously I couldn't let him sleep with his hair wet. And then this is what we're doing with it in the morning. So this style did work up in about 45 minutes. So keep that in mind. This is really one of the quickest we've done. After washing, obviously I blow dried and then I greased the scalp and I used the Camille Rose Kids Mandarine hair butter balm oil thing. I will insert a picture. I use that on the hair and then I just braided it and I put him to sleep. And I've taken it out and look how soft his hair looks. It's honestly just so amazing. So I'm going in and I'm parting the hair down the middle. I'm actually using the straight part that I already had as a template, and I'm going to make a curved line from the top to the bottom. Try and keep it equal on both sides, but again, it is a curved part, so you can do whatever you like with that. Now I'm going to go in after that and I'm going to start separating the front from the back. I am sectioning off a piece of the back. A smaller section is better. As you can see, I'm going in and I'm taking more hair out just to make sure I get it the way that I like. But this is just because I find it a lot easier to do straight back braids when I section off the back and I braid. There you go, that's what it looks like. And I braid the front into the back. You'll see what I mean. So after I've sectioned that off, I'm now going in and I'm going to take the section on the right side and I'm going to split it into two. But by doing this, I am again using a curved line. You can do a zigzag if you like. You can keep it straight if you like, but I do prefer going in with that that curved shape. So I'm going in now with the Shine and Jam. This is the yellow container. This is literally the go-to. I just love how it works to help part the hair, and it kind of just disappears after I'm done using it. So I've gone in, I put that on the part, and then I'm going to use my comb and I'm going to go in and I'm going to just clean up the part. Granted, it is a curve, so it's kind of like, how am I gonna make it straight if it's bent? But you're just gonna try and make it as neat as possible, and just keep it looking like it's supposed to be not straight, not like it just happened to be skewed. So once I've done that, I'm now going in with my Denman Dupe brush. Again, all the products and things that I use will be listed in the description below. After using a Denman brush on his cousin's hair, I realized that I'm gonna buy one. I didn't understand the hype. I didn't understand the price point, but I get it now and I will highly recommend it to anyone. So after I brush it out, I'm now going to section out the back. The first braid is going to be obviously a little bit smaller than the middle braid, so you're going to need less from the back. Once you have all of that sectioned and parted out, you're going to add in your gel. I am using my regular gel. I'm putting that on the perimeter and I'm putting it on the middle of the hair, and I'm just making sure that it's completely coated. Because it is a bigger portion of hair, you're going to need to use more products because you want it to actually work. Once I put the product on, I'm using a flat brush and I'm just brushing that through. And then I'm going to go in with the end of the tail comb and I'm going to mold it so that all the hair can come in to the center, and it's just going to make it easier for the braid to stay neat and for me to braid it. So I did go back in and I added more product because, like I said, with the bigger sections, you want it to have enough product so that it holds and it looks neat, or else it's just a waste of time. So I've gone in and I've taken out a piece of the front so I can start braiding. Get your 3 sections and you're just going to braid down. Take your time. Don't be like me who's rushing as I talk, but take your time. And you're just going to use your comb and you're going to scoop that hair in just to make sure it stays flat and that the style actually looks, again, neat, because that is the main idea of our braids. We want them to look neat. We want them to look purposeful. So I am going in and I'm just making sure that every couple braids that I do, every couple steps that I take with my fingers, I'm using the comb to help keep the hair in. Again, you can kind of do this as like a stitch braid. I don't stitch braid because I don't have time. If I'm gonna have that dedicated style, then I will do that, but it takes a lot of time and precision to make sure that it works. So this is not a stitch braid, but I'm using the same technique that you would use with a stitch braid, just to kind of keep the style to look, keyword, neat. And then I'm going in right now, I'm just making sure that all the hair is in place because we don't want it to look messy. Again, with it being bigger sections, you can tell more easily if something's off. So you want to, as always, take our time, but it's more so important with this type of style. So I'm going in now that I'm getting to the end section and I'm brushing through again. Just want to make sure that it's detangled. And then as I go down and I get to a certain point, I'm going to add some gel to the ends of the hair, and then I'm going to brush it again. I keep thinking that maybe he has split ends. I don't know. Like I've only put heat on his hair a handful of times. I use heat protectant. And other than that, I don't straighten his hair. I don't do anything. So I don't think it's split ends. But again, we're going to have to go to a curly hair salon and make sure that we figure that out. But for now, gel is our best friend. So I'm going back in now on the second one again. I am cleaning up that curved part in the middle. It's not technically in the middle, but supposed to be going down the middle. I'm just making sure that everything is neat, and that everything is where it's supposed to be. So I'm using the Kuza 100% Indian hemp hair and scalp treatment because at this point I can see that there's this one little spot towards the middle of his hair where it gets dry sometimes. So I'm adding that in to just make sure that his scalp is moisturized, the scalp is conditioned, and we can proceed with this style properly. I will go in again at the end, and like I said, I did do it the night before. But when I was putting the grease on the night before, it was more randomized and I just massaged it in. And now that once it's braided out, I will go over the parted sections and use the grease again. So as you can see there, I was just detangling section by section because as we're going through the larger section, it's more hair. And again, we need to make sure everything is smooth for this braiding process. So I've gone in, I've added in my trusty gel, my trusty Shine and Jam. Again, with this Shine and Jam, it holds it in place, it keeps it as you're doing this style, and I find that it kind of just disappears over time. It doesn't leave a white residue, it's not cakey, it's not hard, it's not crunchy, and it's just what I need to use in a kid's hair, and I appreciate that. So there are other gels that are longer lasting, more holding, more forming, more molding, but I just don't want all that harsh product in his hair. I know all products are kind of harsh, but it just kind of puts me at ease to use this gel. So you can use whatever gel that you prefer, but for me, I like to go with the yellow Shine and Jam. So a major key here is making sure that you go slow, but you're also starting off the braid with very little hair, because we're going to be adding so much throughout this larger section of hair to get the complete braid that you don't want to start off bulky. And again, we're going through piece by piece. We're using the comb and we're just grabbing that hair and pushing it in, flattening it, laying it down so that it makes the braid look nice. We don't want this like dinosaur tall braid sticking out, because he has thicker hair towards the back and towards the ends. It kind of does look pretty big, but again, that's just because he has a lot of hair. So if I wasn't taking my time and I wasn't going slow and packing the hair in with the comb, it would look crazier, right? So just make sure you're using these techniques and these tricks to make sure that the braid comes out the way that you would like them to. As you can see, when I'm doing the bigger braids, my hands are in more of like a claw technique with when I'm braiding, not like when I'm braiding the smaller ones and it's more so with just my fingertips. I'm gripping the braid as I'm going because I need to make sure everything is being gathered and that it's staying in place. So you might need to change your hands and the technique that you do depending on the size of the braid, but if you already braid like this, then you're good to go. But it's just a quick tip, and these are the things that I use to make doing the bigger braids a little bit easier. So I'm going down and I'm braiding overhand. As you can see, that is just to make the braid a lot looser. I did switch over back to underhand here, but I'm doing it very loose. I'm not doing it tight like I usually do. I find that when I do it loose or when I do it overhand, it allows for the braid to be elongated, and that allows for the braid to stay straighter. When I braid tight and I braid underhand, it just curls up really crazy. So this is the style halfway through, 2 braids, literally that's it, copy it on the left side and you're done. This worked up so quick, and when I tell you guys we needed it for picture day that morning, I'm not joking. Look at us, we're in the elevator on the way to school at this moment. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this worked up really quick, about 45 minutes before going to school, so it was nothing. If it helped you guys out in a bind, let me know in the comments. Thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you have not already, hit us up on our other social medias if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.